All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your WWE Fastlane Review for October 7th, 2023. I thought prior to the main event, it was probably a middle of the pack show. Most of the matches could have been done on Raw or SmackDown, but the main event ended up making this about probably I give this pay-per-view about a 5 or 6 out of 10, just because the main event pretty much saved it. Um, the best match, easily the main event. The worst match, LWO versus Lasting Street Profits. That was basically a handicap match, 3-on-2, and then the surprise partner show up. Main event, Seth Rollins and Nakamura. I thought they killed it for the last man standing match. Real back and forth fight. A lot of close 7-8 counts towards the end of the match. So thought it made it all dramatic and stuff. We got new tag team champions. This was probably the most shocking thing of everything that happened last night. Cody Rhodes and Jeyuso win the tag titles. Undisputed tag titles from the Judgment Day. That's so dumb. Why would you have the Judgment Day win the titles and then they only have it for a month? So they basically lose their tag titles, their first or second title defense? First pay-per-view title defense? That doesn't make any sense. The only reason they did it because JD McDonough screwed over the Judgment Day pretty much. And then they showed the segment in the back. Damian Priest wanted to cash in or whatever. He was all pissed off and stuff. And Rhea Ripley and the rest of the Judgment Day said, no, do it another night because he's like injured or whatever after that, his leg or his foot or whatever. And the part that JD McDonough hit Priest with his own briefcase, the Money in the Bank briefcase. With Carlito. He spits in the face. People do want to be cool, man. He showed up. Hopefully he signs like full-time contract with him now. Just can't keep doing random appearances by him in matches. Just have him full-time, man. He looks more jacked now than when he was full-time with the WWE back in like the 2000s or whatever, in that decade. So yeah, they should bring him back full-time. And we got LA Knight and John Cena. They teamed up for the first time. And they picked up the win versus the Bloodline. And then in the press conference, Jeyuso and Cody Rhodes, they were high or drunk as hell, man. It's so obvious, man, because every time Cody Rhodes he was in the middle of his answer or whatever, Jeyuso would just cut him off. He would just say yeet, like he used to say in the Bloodline. So he was hilarious. It was funny as hell. All right, let's get to it. First match, we got the undisputed tag team titles on line. Cody Rhodes and Jeyuso versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Priest hit Jeyuso with a clothesline. Then Balor hit Jeyuso with a dropkick. Cody Rhodes gets a tag. He tags in. He hits a power slam on Finn Balor. Balor hit Rhodes with a dropkick. Cody hit Finn Balor with like a stalling superplex. So basically, he got him like a suplex position on the top rope. And then he stalled for like about 10, 15 seconds. Then he dropped him. Jeyuso hit Damian Priest with a crossbody. Priest hit a elevated flatliner on Jeyuso for a 2 count. Jay hit a suicide dive on both members of the Judgment Day on the outside. And then Jay hit Damian Priest with the Uso splash. Finn Balor broke up the pin. Cody Rhodes hit an RKO on Finn Balor. Jey Uso hit Damian Priest with a spear. And then Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio come out to the ring. Finn Balor hit a double stomp on Jey Uso. Cody Rhodes broke up the pin. And then she nailed Jey Uso with a briefcase while the ref was turned around. And then Jey Uso kicks out. Damian Priest hit Cody Rhodes with a chokeslam on the apron. That looked brutal. And then you had Damian Priest and Cody Rhodes, so they were fighting on the announce table or whatever. And then JD McDonough, him and his big head, they pick up or he picks up the Damian Priest's Money in the Bank briefcase. He's intending to hit Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes moves out the way. and then he nails Damian Priest right in the leg or the foot. Can't remember. And then Cody Rhodes hit the crossroads on Damian Priest to the announce table. And then Cody hit an RKO on Finn Balor back in the ring. And then he hit the crossroads on Finn Balor to get the 3 count. And we have new tag team champions, new undisputed tag team champions, Cody Rhodes and jeyuso. So we'll see how long they have the belts for. I don't see Judgment Day winning it because clearly they're going for the JD McDonough and Damian Priest storyline now. They're gonna have they're probably gonna have the rest of Judgment Day pretty much pick who they're gonna pick to have in the group, and then kick whoever they want out of the group. So I think they're gonna kick out Damian Priest. Maybe after he cashes in the Money in the Bank, or they could do before. So it's probably gonna be JD McDonough as a new member in Judgment Day. And it's gonna be no more Damian Priest in the Judgment Day. They'll probably take a couple of months before they kick Damian Priest out. I'm gonna do like a slow burn, a slow build to that. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, next up we got 6-man tag. Santos Escobar, Rey Mysterio, LWO. And Carlito didn't show up until like about halfway through the match, or like towards the end of the match. They faced Lashley, Montez Ford, and Angelo Dawkins. Santos hit Ford with the crossbody. Santos hit Ford with the Hurricane Rana. And then, so pretty much early in the match, Lashley and Street Profits pretty much dominated because it was, like I said earlier, it was like a handicap match. And then about a few minutes later, Rey Mysterio hits Angelo Dawkins with a DDT. And then we got Carlito. He shows up, pretty much cleans house, and hits a backstabber to get the win. And they celebrate right here. And then after the match, this was random because Pizza Hut was all over this match. You could see Pizza Hut everywhere, man. And then Xavier Woods, this goof, he brings out a pizza. It's like pizza, wings, and whatever else is, and breadsticks or whatever. So they start eating pizza. That's pretty much it. Kind of dumb, yo. Commentators eat pizza, whatever. This fool got a Pizza Hut jacket on. Oh my god. Ridiculous, man. All right. Next up, we got the triple threat women's title. Charlotte Flair versus Io Sky versus Asuka for the women's title. To start right off the bat, Asuka spit blue mist into Charlotte Flair's eyes. So in the early part of the match, it was pretty much a one-on-one match. And then on the replay, they showed it. You could clearly see that Asuka missed most of the mist in Charlotte Flair's face. And then on the outside, she was like wiping the mist out, the blue mist out of her face or whatever, her eyes, with a couple of refs to try to get it all out. But yeah, she clearly missed, yo. But there was a bunch of that wasn't the only botch in this match. There was a bunch of botches in this match. And then Flair's out. Flair gets back in the ring. She hits a big boot. Asuka hit a Io Sky with a German suplex. Charlotte hit a crossbody on both Io Sky and Asuka. Charlotte hit a double suplex on both Asuka and Io Sky. First, they tried to do a double suplex to her, but she was too heavy and she countered it, and then Flair hit them both with it. And then Io botched the moonsault. She like overshot this, man. Botch was just ridiculous, man. And then Charlotte Flair, she goes to the top rope. She hits a moonsault on both of them on the outside. Asuka applied the armbar. Charlotte Flair countered. And then Charlotte hit Asuka with the spear. She got a 2 count. And then this is when Bayley and Dakota Kai come out. Charlotte Flair applied the figure 4. This is where Bayley starts freaking out, whatever. Oh my god, Io Sky's gonna lose the title. So she goes to distract the ref. And then Io Sky hit the moonsault for the win. So Io Sky retains the women's title. So she'll probably have the belt for a little bit longer. Because it made no sense to take the title off of her. Because she just won it. So she'll probably keep it until maybe end of the year, I'm thinking. And then she'll probably lose it at the Rumble. So we'll see what happens with that. and they're clearly building towards, or maybe they'll just drag it out a little bit more. The eventual feud between Bayley and Io Sky. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. All right, next up we got John Cena and LA Knight, yeah, versus Sol Sikoa and Jeyuso with Paul Heyman. And then so before on commentary, Michael Cole says Paul Heyman has aged like 20 years since Roman hasn't been around. You can see Paul Heyman's hair is all turned gray. Paul Heyman's become like freaking 80 years old since Roman's been gone for like 10 years or whatever he's been gone for. But that was hilarious. Michael Cole trolling Paul Heyman. All right, so the match gets underway. Cena pretty much in the early part of the match is getting destroyed. He's getting schooled by the bloodline. Early part of the match. Solo hit a spinning heel kick. John Cena hit his AA on Jeyuso. Solo Sikoa knocked LA Knight off the apron, preventing Cena from making the tag to LA Knight. LA Knight gets a tag eventually, and he cleans house. LA hits Jeyuso with the people's elbow, his version of it. Cena hit a crossbody on Solo, and then Jim Uso hit the Uso splash on Cena. And then Jim hit the super kick on Cena. LA Knight hit Jim with the superplex. And then Cena did the 5-knuckle shuffle. LA Knight hit the BFT on Jim Uso for the win. So LA Knight and John Cena pick up the win. This is pretty predictable. You're not going to have Cena and LA Knight lose. You had the part-timer, former franchise John Cena, and then you got the current guy on the rise now with LA Knight. So it's pretty obvious those two are going to win. So it looks like they're going to building towards LA Knight versus Roman Reigns at the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, Crown Jewel. So yeah, the build for that match should be good. Unless they have AJ come back from his storyline injury, and then they'll have AJ versus Roman. But I think it's pretty obvious now. It's going to be LA Knight versus Roman at Crown Jewel, and Cena's there for another month, so he'll probably end up being in the corner of LA Knight, and then you'll have Heyman and Solo with Roman during that match. All right, so we got a backstage segment with the Judgment Day. Damian Priest, he wants to badly cash in. Judgment Day pretty much says no, do it another night. So he listens to them, and then yeah, so maybe just trying to think, when could he cash in? Maybe so he's got a storyline injury now, so maybe 2-3 weeks he heals up, and then could he cash in at on either Rollins or Gunther at Crown Jewel? Because Gunther never defends his title at pay-per-views, I'm noticing. I don't think he's defended his IC title since like WrestleMania, I think, on a pay-per-view. So if he cashes in on Gunther, it's probably gonna have to be on Raw. If he cashes in on Rollins, that has to be on a pay-per-view. So we'll just have to wait and see when Damian Priest cashes in on whoever he wants to cash in on. All right, next up, we got the main event with Seth Rollins versus Nakamura for the world title in a last man standing match. Seth Rollins hit a suplex on outside the ring on Nakamura. And then Seth Rollins started ripping up the padding outside the ring. So you can see the exposed concrete or whatever they use now under the padding outside the ring. He went for a power bomb on the exposed part of the where the padding was. Nakamura countered it. Seth Rollins hit Nakamura with steel steps, and then Seth, he threw a chair, he threw a garbage can, he threw a table, kendo sticks, pretty much any weapon you could find out of the ring, you name it, he just chucked them all in the ring. Nakamura hit Seth Rollins with a knee to the back of the head, or to the back. And then Nakamura, this dude brought out some nunchucks, like in the MMA or freaking, what was it, Steve Blackman back in the day, or an Attitude Era. He was like the MMA guy with the nunchucks. Now Nakamura's got using them in the match. And then Shinsuke hit a German suplex on Seth. And then he put the garbage can on Rollins and he hit him with the kendo stick. The first kendo stick shot that he hit on him, it was like a loud thud. You could hear that from like probably like 10 blocks away or whatever. Then Seth hit Nakamura with a sling blade. Rollins hit Nakamura with a kendo stick a bunch of times, multiple times. Seth hit a frog splash on Nakamura. And then Nakamura set up a table in the corner of the ring. Nakamura tried to put Seth Rollins through the table. Seth Rollins moved. And then Nakamura ended up hitting the table, but the table didn't break. It was like a dent in the table. It was like a little bend in the table, but it didn't break. And then Rollins hit the curb stomp. And then Seth hit Nakamura with a ladder that he set up near the announce table. And then he put Nakamura on the announce table. Seth climbs the ladder. Nakamura moves out of the way. And then Nakamura kicks they were fighting in the crowd somewhere. Nakamura like kicked Seth Rollins off the stands. And then Seth Rollins like landed on his back or something. Nakamura countered the pedigree, and then Seth Rollins he landed on the concrete on the exposed part of the where the ring pad was outside the ring. Pretty much did like a cross, like a back body drop when he countered the pedigree. And then Seth hit the pedigree on Nakamura. Both guys got up before the count of 10. And then Nakamura hit Rollins with a double knee through a table. That looked brutal. Seth Rollins got up to break the 10 count. Nakamura hit Rollins with multiple chair shots. Seth Rollins got up before the count of 10. And then they were fighting on the ladder where the announce table was that was set up earlier by Rollins. And then Nakamura gets up there first. And then Seth follows up, climbing up the ladder. And then out of nowhere, Nakamura like spit a bunch of blood in Seth Rollins' face. And he pushed Seth off the ladder. And he went through the table. Seth Rollins, he still got up to break the 10 count. And then Nakamura hit the Kinshasa through the table in the ring. Seth Rollins, I think he got up at about 7 or 8 count, around there. And then Seth Rollins hit a pedigree. They were fighting near the crowd on a stage or like a stand somewhere. Yeah, so he hit the pedigree. Then he hit the curb stomp, and then he hit the Falcon Arrow, and he put Nakamura through a table. And that was pretty much it for that. So Nakamura couldn't beat the 10 count, and Seth Rollins retains. Pretty predictable. I didn't think they were going to put the title on Nakamura. So it looks like this feud is done. And then, yeah, so Seth Rollins, I'm thinking next he's going to feud with either the heel Drew McIntyre, or if CM Punk comes back, he'll feud with Punk. And one of those two guys, I think, will take the title off of Seth Rollins, because he's most likely going to get surgery soon, or unless they want to hold it off surgery and have him ready for WrestleMania. But that would be dumb because he could get injured while he has the belt, and then he'll miss WrestleMania. So I think he should, as soon as he loses the title, he should go get surgery, and then hopefully he can rehab and then get back in time for WrestleMania. Yeah, so for this show, I'd probably give it about 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, just because the main event pushed it to a 5 or a 6. You had Cena and LA Knight winning. So I thought that was a good match. And then you had the shocking part of the night with Judgment Day losing the tag titles. They're gonna have they're dividing there's gonna be a lot of tension between Judgment Day on Raw tomorrow. So they're gonna have to build up that. And then you had new tag team champs, Cody Rhodes and Jeyuso win the tag titles. They're probably feud at Judgment Day and they're on every damn main event. Feels like the whole year it's been Cody Rhodes, Jeyuso, and Judgment Day, and KO and Sammy every week on Raw in the main event. Could have just done that match on Raw. So yeah, that was my review for Fastlane. See ya.